Hello people of YouTube, it's your boy Skinny Penis with the next destroyer. Today it's a Vampire 2 Research Bureau, and we're all asking ourselves the question, should we get it or shouldn't we? And we can dive a bit into that question while we're playing it for 2 games, I guess 2 games. So, Vampire. Essentially it's a daring without a heal, but a better hydro and a different smoke. They changed the DPM and the torps. The torps on Vampire are more long range, but only 5. The guns have more DPM and improved, but they keep the improved pan angle and short fuse of daring. So essentially, like, your guns are the daring guns, but they just reload faster. And overall, it's just harder to play than daring. But it has a higher payoff in some games. It has a definitely a different playstyle because of the weird nature of the smoke, which is a crawling one. It's most likely not better than the short burst of daring. It's just that the short burst is the hardest to fuck up with, because you get 6 or 7 charges depending on your spec, and you can essentially spam them whenever you want. So in general, like, you don't really lose farming time with short burst smokes. You are just able to farm more efficiently, because if your smoke is bad, or it turns out that your smoke that you popped is bad, you don't really care. You just wait it out and you pop the next one pretty soon after. With Vampire it's a bit different. If you pop your smoke, you are stuck in it for more than 2 minutes, and the reload afterwards is also more than a minute. What's the reload? It's also nearly 2 minutes actually. So one consumable cycle takes you around 5 minutes nearly, which means you make the decision to pop smoke, you're stuck with it. The fact that you're moving around in it does offer you some interesting gameplay options though, because theoretically if you get caught out in your smoke, you can just run away, keep moving, and then slow down again and be in the smoke again. Also for people that chase you, the smoke is pretty toxic to deal with, because you can keep running away from them while staying dark in it. Or like, not stay dark, but you can always go dark again and again and again, because you have it essentially dragged out behind you. Okay, so we have a Smaland here. We're obviously going for the cap since we have a hydro. You want to be a cap contester. Okay, we baited the radar because he's hydroed. He wanted to know what's here. Now he knows. Theoretically, I don't want to get stuck in hard light, or like this here, the proxy spotting. I don't want to be here necessarily. Okay. Actually, if he runs away, I can theoretically poke him. And I'm essentially spotting him for free for my team. Smolensk is on the other side, so there could only be a Minnow or a Napoli here. He doesn't have a radar anymore, so that's why I'm engaging him right now. Get more damage into him. As you can see, the DPM is quite disgusting. The problem is just he has a heal, I don't, so killing him here would have been the best option, and we couldn't. We got on fire, maybe it's perma. Doesn't matter though, I don't think he dies to it, and that's the big issue here. But now, theoretically, as you can see, we can keep moving with the smoke. Twerp the Napoli, maybe I can put him out. You do have better concealment than all the other gunboats though. 5.8 on a gunboat like Vampire is pretty disgusting. So essentially it means if you play it correctly, you're hilariously nuts against other destroyers. Because of your concealment too, you can fuck with essentially any DD, even the what is it, the torpedo ones that have low concealment. They don't really get a warning, or they don't really get to live against you that easily. The problem is just since you don't have the heal, you're most likely stuck with the HP that you traded. So as you can see here, the guy blind fired me out, or blind fired me a bit, and therefore I don't have the full HP anymore, and I can't heal it back. There's no way of regaining it. By the way, that makes theoretically modes like arms race, where you can potentially grab heals, super disgusting for these kind of DDs that don't originally have a heal, but suddenly they get one. I mean, since they're balanced around the fact that they have a heal, that they don't have a heal, or that they have a heal, obviously, like some DDs have. Randomly getting that consumable through an arms race buff changes a whole lot for most of these destroyers. I would like to twerp. I mean, as you can see, we drove the Smaland away pretty far. He's also super low, so theoretically, he shouldn't go for me anymore. Like, I don't expect him to go for me. We don't want to be opening up here. It's too many ships. I can only open up... Oh, fuck. That was a good timing. That guy is running into the cap. He's actually faster than me. He could catch me out. He's turning away. Okay, so that's good. Now we have to essentially search ourselves an island to farm from, because, as said, the consumable cycle takes quite long. Oh, the Smaland is here. Radaring me. I'm out of radar range, okay. A bit weird, to be honest, that the Smaland comes back, because he really did receive a pretty big beating. And I wouldn't have expected that guy to be back that soon. We're going behind the island here, I guess. He sits in the cap. He will take it from me. There's no real way I can stop that. But what we can do here is, because we're like using the island now, we can kill the Ohio that is running it in. He's also perma-flooded. Okay. It's weird. I mean, he has the speed boost. I don't. I also don't get this improved speed boost that he gets. So him trading here isn't actually too stupid. Okay, the Napoli spotting me, but he should leave range in a second. We have to kill the Ohio out of the cap, obviously. I can't engage the Smaland or anything else when there's a BB sitting right inside the cap. Do keep in mind that Vampire has like the highest fire starting capability of all DDs. That's the thing, like you don't get the heal, you're also not the fastest destroyer or the most maneuverable one, like you don't have the maneuverability of French destroyers, but you get disgusting DPM in return. So yeah, it's really something like, if you play it correctly, this ship has an insane payoff. If you don't play it correctly, you're going to struggle the entire time. And while the consumables or the entire gimmicks of Vampire might seem fairly strong, these days with all the radars and also the radar DDs and stuff, and also the DDs that can just straight up trade you when you're like spotted for 10 seconds against them, they can already trade like half your HP into you. Given that fact, it's not the strongest combination of consumables out there. It's definitely not. Like, it really shines when there's very few radars and especially also no radar DDs. Theoretically, German DDs can out-hydro you, but that doesn't really happen that often. I mean, it needs to be a very unfortunate situation where a German DD just straight up out-hydros you. Not something that happens too often, and if that happens and you can't disengage, you still have like double the DPM of them, so you can most likely kill them way faster than they kill you. I'm going back to the rock, trying to contest the cap again. I mean, obviously we need to. We're down 2 ships. There's a Napoli in the enemy team that probably won't die, and I have to make use of the fact that the 2 BBs in the enemy team are running away and their Smaland is fairly low. Maybe the Smaland even left. I can't twerp randomly here, because the Napoli might be turning it back. Which means if he's coming closer to the rock and trying to fight me... Okay, the Smaland is radared by the Nevsky. That's really good. That he's over there allows me now to play against no radars, no hydros. Okay, the GK has a hydro, but whatever. But essentially take the cap back against the cruiser that doesn't have utility, so I should be fairly... it should be fairly safe for me to disengage from him or not be caught by him. Also, if I am sitting on the rock... Okay, the Napoli's actually running deep, pretty far away. I mean, theoretically that Smaland is playing a pretty dangerous game, because in my opinion he already used all his heals essentially, so... That guy is like prone to die. It's a very, very unfortunate situation that he got away. That's like the thing with the heal destroyers. If he gets away, he gets to like essentially out-trade me for free because he can heal back and I don't. But under normal circumstances, I'm gonna pop the smoke here to not be shot at. Go dark. Like that's the thing, look, you can go dark here and then you can suddenly move again. Yeah, so there was like for example an incoming shell and I could dodge that fairly simple. Easily. I shouldn't have popped the smoke to be honest. In retrospect it was pretty dumb. Yeah, he took a hit from the Vermont or something. He doesn't have heals anymore, so that's why I'm poking him even at that range. If I hit him, yeah, there you go. He's dead. That was essentially worth it to trade that HP there. But we gotta get him out. Maybe the Nevsky can take the cap. The problem just is I'm completely deprived of teammates on this flank, and obviously my smoke kind of requires others to spot for me. Unless, like, okay, listen, like here, for example, this is where a crawl smoke could come in pretty fucking handsomely. If this guy would shoot now. Yeah, he does. So I take some damage in return, yeah. I am damaged now. I forgot there is the fucking storm, eh. Well, well, well. Also didn't get a fire, it's fairly unfortunate. Yeah, well, this smoke is fucking useless again. If there wasn't the storm, I could spot him, or like I would spot him myself in the smoke for 20 seconds, which is already a pretty good time to farm in Vampire, specifically since he had no DCP up yet. I'm going to essentially kite the flank forever now. I hope that my team retakes the other caps, and at some point we may have a situation where I can use my last smoke to really farm these people. The only thing I could do here is I could search myself an island, anticipate that the Quirfers may be coming in on the 9-10, and then I can use the island to immediately dodge his shells. That's why I'm not popping speed boost yet, so I can play around an island maybe with speed boost, farm him, reverse and shit. Yeah, I mean, everyone sees where I'm going because of the smoke, even though that's not that big of an issue. I mean, they know I'm generally around the area here anyways. Yeah, the GK is coming. I have 8000 HP, it's not too much, and I don't really want to risk getting like 4 or 5 shallots from him. That would make me so low that I can't really fight later on anymore. He's not even looking into me. What the fuck is he doing? I'll shoot now. Pop the speed boost. Wait a minute. He has the secondary technology, which is fairly shit for me. Uh-oh. Napoli's coming back closer. Okay, I'm dark. Before he could turn his turrets. He missed. Big time. I get torpedoes out into that direction. He DCP'd again, so now I want to get spots on him. And then farm him. Again. There he is. I mean, I have to kill some of these people. Him or the other BBs. Obviously, it's a bit sad that they're like fucking full HP straight up. That's not a good look for me. But my fire starting capabilities should be sufficient to get quick fires here. Arm the superstructure a bit and then fuck off again. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. You should probably, by the way, cycle your speed boost and... Okay, double fire, perfect. It's non-DCP. You will burn now. You should cycle your smoke and speed boost a bit, that's for sure, and also you should have smoke and hydro up at the same time, because like you couldn't see it this game because there was no real situation to like pull it, but against DDs that don't have hydro themselves, or very shitty hydro like the Daring, or people that have no radar cover or whatever, you can obviously slow crawl into them with your smoke and your hydro up, since like you have some sort of way to maneuver while you're like hydroing and smoking. That's pretty good. Yeah. You could see here that like you can fight for caps, you can farm people very very fast. But what you don't really, what you're not really able to do is consistently like perma-farm open water, like if you're in a Smalan, French DD, something like that. Okay, try to get a fire here. Maybe I'm lucky. Nope. Nope. Doesn't seem like it. I think the Thunder is in the cap, by the way. That shouldn't be the Napoli. Maybe it is the Napoli. I mean, in any case, I have torpedoes. I'm very well concealed. No, it's actually the Napoli that is running at me. Okay. GK is crossing over. I'm traversing 2 into the middle because, as you can see, my last smoke would allow me to farm completely safe again. But for that to work, I need someone to really spot for me. Fairly unlucky with the fires. Ah, there you go, 1 fire. Still haven't torped because I have the feeling he's gonna white line anyways. He's also out of the storm now, so I could potentially take a hit from this guy and completely live. Yeah, he shot 20 seconds of free farm, and the DPM in these 20 seconds with AR also kicking is quite nuts on the superstructure of German BBs. Like, this guy will probably go extremely low against me. The thing is, though, he has heals left because obviously we're all full HP. And since they're all running away from the cap after that smoke, I will most likely go back into the cap. Something you should keep in mind on Vampire is you have to keep 1/4 speed to stay inside the smoke, and if you fully reverse, full speed reverse, you actually go faster than 1/4. So if you keep full speed reversing for like 20 seconds, you might actually end up popping outside of your smoke in the end. Is he eating torps, by the way? I think he is eating one. Yeah, should be a kill here. Yeah. That's a permaflood, he should die there. Actually, he's healing. Question is, do I open up? I think I'll keep stealth for now. He's healing, that's why he's not dropping HP. Okay, the Napoli's going onto the opposing side of the team. If he DCPs, I will open up real quick. Okay, DCP'd. I'm going to kill him now with farming quickly. Oh, nice. And as you can see, I slowed down on the smoke. I'm immediately dark and I can keep going. So that's like it's like the strength of this ship, really. Your ability to go dark over and over again. And we haven't really had a situation where I could have farmed DD with AP or anything. Okay, this guy makes me go dark, okay. Where I could farm a DD or something bigger with AP. But that's definitely not something to keep in mind, that very low armored platings that are not angled. So essentially like flat broadside, or the entire armor scheme of the ship is very flat on the broad, like a Yamato, Musashi, the Frenchies, or something like a Colombo, even if it has more armor, it's super flat, so you can penetrate that close to medium with AP, and your AP DPM is quite nuts. So the moment you have permafires, there's no real point to keep on spamming the saturated superstructure, so you'd rather saturate another part of a ship, the hull, and get more damage in between. It's kind of like just how to maximize damage output to kill people faster. We take the cap back for the 3rd time in a row. As you can see here, it's not worth it to sometimes defend the cap fully and essentially offer yourself as a scapegoat. It's better to stay alive in most scenarios. Like, if the enemy decides to run it into a cap, sure, then let them do that. Stay alive, kill what's running it into the cap, and come back at a later stage and just retake it. As you can see here, we're winning the game because of it, so that's pretty good. Am I gliding out? Nope. Okay. Well, I think they're gonna kill the GK. I don't know if the Napoli actually will kill the Kreml. That's a 50-50 really. But what I can do is I can most likely open water the Thunderer for a bit more damage. Sadly, I don't get a... Okay, well, the Kreml burns out, but the Napoli dies, which means we keep all 3 caps and there's no ship in the game anymore that could potentially take back a cap, so I have essentially free farm here on the Thunderer, which is nice. He's most likely also DCP down at some point because the submarine is perma-griefing him. Yeah. As said, maneuverability is cucky because you're not fast, but you do you turn very well, and also with the speed boost, your acceleration and deceleration is quite nuts. So you have means of dodging incoming shells, open water. You just don't really do it as well as some other DDs would. Also, more and more ships, because of your low speed, have a really easy time hitting you. Like Russian cruisers, like Nevskys and Moskvas, is something you don't want to fight at all in a vampire. Now the game is over. But hey, we got a pretty big amount of damage. Got only one kill though, but we got 3 base caps, retaking the same cap 3 times in a row. But yeah, turns out that as you can see here, the potential of the ship is insane. Like, you do really have the DPM, and if you have situations where you can use the full fuel smoke, you can farm disgusting amounts of damage in one fuel smoke. Regarding the spec, Vampire is a bit interesting, since it doesn't have a heal, and I said like one consumable cycle on the smoke is like 5 minutes. Now you can obviously guess that unless the game goes beyond 15 minutes, you're never going to make, actually, if the game doesn't go beyond like 16, 17 minutes, because in the first 2 minutes you're most likely not going to use a smoke, you're driving towards a position, which means like Superintendent can be dropped. It's not that big of an issue really. Overall, I'd say getting the DPM fully kitted out is the play. Torpedo skills are obviously shit. Theoretically, you could run radio location. That's like something that you could really do on Vampire, since it's a gunboat, it has low concealment. You are theoretically able to hunt destroyers. The problem is just I wouldn't do it anyway, like, since you don't have a heal, and since your consumable cycle isn't like ready most of the times, like you only have it ready for specific occasions, you can't like just dementedly run at a destroyer. It doesn't really work. Like, you have to have the DD come into you, or outsmart him, and I'm generally not a big fan of radio location. Like, radio location on destroyers is most likely good on torpedo boats that want to evade enemy DDs completely, specifically gunboats and shit. So like someone like a Shimmer running RPF against me in a Vampire would make sense, but me running RPF against that Shimmer is like kinda whatever. I mean, you do have the points though. Like, you could drop these two and go RPF. That's why I say it's like a free skill. AFT is kinda useless on it really. Like, you get 12.8 base range and your arcs are pretty fucking shit, but the base range is nuts, so AFT is kind of a waste really. You don't really hit much at range apart from stationary BBs, but stationary BBs are food for everything. Like, you can just go below 12.8 and farm them. But yeah, like, the only real gunboat where RPF makes sense is Smaland. Even though it's really cringe, it's like obviously the best gunboat because you can effectively hunt destroyers with the radar and the speed boost. Ragnar would also make sense, but the problem on Ragnar is you are so point starved and you need the points for something else, so wouldn't run it there either really. Actually, you can't run it there. It's just not a thing. Vampire itself, as I said, is like Research Bureau. So if you get it through free XP, it's like 5 to 6 million, I think. I mean, if you use double reset and you wait like 3/4 of a year to get 3 times double reset, it's obviously way cheaper. You only spend what like 2.5 million on it, which is kind of nice. But it's very expensive to kit out. What you need is you really need the hydroacoustic search, specifically also since you're not running Superintendent anymore, but like hydro mod is really nice, and you need the smoke generator modification. The only other option you have is if you don't run this, you can theoretically go engine boost, and then you don't have to buy this. You go for a more farm orientated spec, and then you drop and then you get Superintendent, which makes the smokes last for a like shorter amount of time, but you get them off cooldown quicker. I mean, not necessarily quicker, like the cooldown is still the same, but you have them you have them on cooldown faster, and then you can get the next one faster. I mean, it's kind of you could kind of do that, but I would advise to get smoke gen mod, run the flag, and buff the duration, and then use it mostly for situations where you can permanently farm someone, or when you fight or crawl up into a destroyer, for example, then you use it. Yeah. It's a playstyle that I mean, obviously, wait, the rest is always the same. I mean, you run rudder here because you don't have prop. It's like a British DD, essentially basic. So the prop mod is inside the ship already. Like they essentially have it built in, so you go rudder. The rest doesn't make sense. I mean, theoretically, you could run the uh, depth charge damage one, but I don't know. It's not really worth it, in my opinion. Just go rudder. Makes you extremely fast and nimble. Oh shit, dude, what the fuck is this? Okay, like next matchmaking, we're like looking at a very sus MM. We have a carrier, it's United States, so we could have the issue that the United States thinks it's funny to hump me. Then obviously in a vampire you're really fucked, because you can only hide in a smoke for so long and you don't have AA to speak of. It's the same with daring, kinda. Like if a carrier wants you, you waste all your smoke consumables for it, and yeah, well, at some point he probably just kills you anyways. Those DDs aren't really designed around the fact that the carriers can fuck you. We have the Patri, Venezia, Annapolis diff, so we gotta be a bit careful that the Annapolis is never in radar range of us and the Ven is able to shoot us, stuff like that. DD wise, we actually don't have that big of an issue. Harugumo, if I catch it in my Hydro, it's so sluggish I will probably be able to kill it. Trump is a bit of an issue though, since we have like spotting parity. 5.8 versus 5.9 doesn't really make a difference in World of Warships these days with the spotting delay. It's kind of also the thing with the Marceau, why Marceau is always supposed to be, in my opinion, spec'd with double conceal. You don't get any sort of value out of not getting concealment really, like you don't get that much more DPM or something. Get like 5% more because you can suddenly take BFT. But in return you can't run at this door. You can't really catch DDs anymore. Because 7km concealment on Marceau versus like 5.8 on Vamp, for example, you're so fast that you most likely end up catching these DDs anyways, because they only like physically see you on their monitor when you're already like 6.8, 6.7, 6.6 close, depending on how the server feels like. Yeah, it's like the spotting delay is a big problem at this point in World of Warships. The server does have a whole lot of delay there, and it's not really nice. Let's say it like that. It's not really that nice. Okay. So they're emptying out 9-10 line. It would be definitely a nice idea to go for the Satsuma farm, but since it's a 2DD game with a super carrier, I think I'll just focus on getting C, sitting in the cap with Hydro and Smoke maybe, and killing the Harugumo, because it looks like he's going for the cap, which means well, I'm gonna pop speed boost to be beating him there timing wise. I mean, I could theoretically even torpedo it beforehand and make the engagement very fast and quick for him. It's quick little death. He has no clue I'm here because his carrier isn't spotting, which is good. He doesn't have any radar cover unless the Annapolis choose to not stay in middle. It's pretty good that they empty out this area because I can't be shot from there, so I can just go like this, dip behind the island. Okay, the Annapolis is coming over. That's a bit of an issue. I think our carrier is going to spot the Harugumo again. Yeah, okay, that's like perfect. He doesn't know yet. I'm not gonna pop Hydro yet. I would scare him. I'm gonna pop Smoke. Already go into reverse. Maybe even the Wooster runs this. Okay, there you go. Hydroed. So now he's gonna panic and run out front, which he doesn't know I'm here. So now I can just kill him for free. Yep. He's cucked in the Hydro. My DPM is disgusting at that range. I can just kill him straight up. He also already DCP'd, so even if he somehow gets behind an island, because he does have a lot of HP and a... Yeah, okay, the what is it? The Wooster is also shooting him, so that guy's dead. Yeah, that guy's fucking dead. You could like kind of see he wanted to do that, given the movement of him towards the cap. And since we were all on 9-10 and no one disturbed him yet, these kind of people just go for the cap anyways. Obviously, it's not the best idea he ever had, but hey, it was kind of easy to predict, not gonna lie. Heavy cruisers, by the way, something like this here, suffers heavily against you if they have no means of spotting you, because obviously the fire setting capability is so dementedly disgusting that turning into cap, by the way, to get it, but slowly, like 1/4. Theoretically, you can optimize the crawling forward a bit, because you can theoretically accelerate slightly and then slow down immediately again, which makes you crawl a bit faster. Like, you can go a bit faster than 1/4. It's very good, by the way, that this guy didn't come up with the great idea of running at me with his hydro. Sometimes these German cruisers do that. Yiannopoulos has a hard time crossing from that rock, by the way, that's why I'm going into cap, because he's not gonna be able to radar me. If he crosses that rock, he risks being spotted in the process. By the way, how is this guy on 45k HP already? Like in a Satsuma? What the fuck happened? I guess the Woodchuckov got broadside shots out. I guess. Not getting a fire here, sadly. Yeah, I said like a 2 DD game with a super carrier kind of. Oh wait, the Yiannopoulos is running at me. In fact, trying to get an angle on me. I mean, I can tell him that it's not gonna work out. Yeah. Ah, he turned away from the rock. Okay, interesting. I mean, I could fucking explain to him that he's not gonna be able to like lob me here. By the way, in this scenario where I have an Uchakov behind me for now, and on my right there's Hanover and Satsuma, or Shikishima, whatever, it's actually fairly nice to be in this spot. Since the entire 8, 9, 10 line of the enemy team is removed, I can literally just sit here and farm for free. That island is lobbable with my arcs completely. Oh, that guy got Citadel. I think if he pops up again, he's a wee bit lower than before. Yeah, he did eat a bench dick. Wait a minute. Okay, time for me to not hunt the 2 Satsumas running away. I mean, that's obviously pointless. I would have to go through 2 radars that are kiting in front of them, and a super carrier that could go for me. It's definitely not the best look. Like, you don't want to do that. I'll twerp him, maybe he just keeps reversing for some odd reason. My BBs have angles on that, but like now I can go into the middle where the GK runs it, and the what is it? Patry comes here too, so yeah, I should be able. Maybe I can get a fire on that, because I think he may have DCP'd, I'm not sure. Maybe it's brain damaged what I'm doing here, because the Yiannopoulos would like to cuck me. Yeah, the Yiannopoulos tries to shoot me here, it's a bit fucky. We got an insta-fire though. Ah, okay. Ah, okay. Okay, that's the RNG we're getting here, where he hits 5 out of 6 shells with back turrets instantly and quickly. Okay. Okay. Off to the middle we go, receiving the enemy push and farming it out. That is very important. The Yiannopoulos doesn't have me in radar. I can just use my teammates that are sitting in base that are spotting the enemy team. Fairly obvious goal here. The Trump shouldn't win against the Khabarovsk, to be honest. So maybe we can take that cap back. They're doing a little camp fiesta there in middle, to be honest. I don't like it really. Everyone's focusing the GK out, even though there's like a Venezia flap broadside. I think the Johan shit trying to peek that corner. Gotta be a bit careful. That's why I'm dodging like the close-up rock, because he has hydro on most likely, so don't want to get caught in that hydro. Our Khabarovsk is playing the other side, or taking the attention of the carrier away from me, which is pretty nice of him. Could have maybe shot there a bit earlier. That guy's reversing.
Engine boost deactivated.
Okay, the GK dies. Yiannopoulos is coming back though. I gotta really hope that my Patry or other battleships are nuking that Yiannopoulos first, because that's like the only ship that really concerns me at this point. I'm not a real big But I guess I could just like smoke up and use the carrier spotting now. Makes sense. Farm this guy out of the middle of the cap. He's full HP, but he also takes 60-second fires. He also gets overmatched by the Padre. Maybe the smoke was once again fucking useless. Could just use the island. Maybe trade a bit of HP. But hey, you never know beforehand. Yeah, well, nose in, perma spotted. Johan de Witt doesn't really live long in this matchmaking. There you go. I mean, I can still make use of the smoke if I move it up. I think. The Annapolis knows that he can't really run it deeper in. There's still a Patrie and shit running around that may or may not fuck him immediately. He's spotted in the turns. Our Patrie should nuke that, right? I wanted him to shoot here, so he stays spotted. He didn't. Obviously, he didn't. As long as this guy is alive, I'm not gonna touch the cap. I would be very good if one of our BBs just looks at the broadside funny and just nukes him out. That would be really, really appreciated. As you can see, you have to be a wee bit patient with your vampire gameplay. Like, you have to really, really manage your HP well, not lose it randomly somewhere for no reason. Also, you have to wait for the consumables to come off cooldown, even if a situation looks like you could farm a whole bunch of damage. You just can't really open water farm with ships like Annapolis or Venezia blocking off the enemy BBs. Not something that it does very well. Okay, we got the Satsuma. I'm going to get the mid cab. Hope that my Khabarovsk takes the other one. I hope I can make this turn. That's why I'm, by the way, half speed. Half speed is like smallest turning circle, optimal turning circle, so yeah, that's my half speed. So if you... Bad CV is bad, okay. Bad CV bad, that's very nice of you to say. So, I think we're popping Hydro here. Not that we either random Venezia or Trump Torp. I don't have no clue where they are. I mean, very interesting engagements going on right there, but we need caps. We need caps before the carrier starts realizing I'm here too. Which he, I think, does now. By the way, I can farm here because the Venezia went behind the rock, so there's like nothing that can spot me here. If I would be spotted here, it would be the Trump, and I would immediately know where he is. Now it's the carrier. That doesn't really matter. I'm unspotted again. I got DCP'd. I'm trying permafires here. Ah, okay, I know where the Trump kinda is. Oh. Would be really cool if I get perma here. But I gotta get rid of him. Okay, there's one. I'm not gonna shoot anymore. The carrier's coming in with the tech squads. Not a good look for me here if I get fucked by the techs. The thing is though, my air concealment is so good with concealment spec that he couldn't really, like, as long as I'm not spotted beforehand, he can't really go for me. The Cabros took back the cap, as I hoped. So we have all caps now. Really good. Okay, wait a minute, the Trump is there. Okay, brother. Got another kill? I'm not gonna fight the Trump at that range, by the way. He has Ragnar guns, which means he's way more effective at range than I am. Can DCP the engine now. Gotta get the fuck out of here. Really. Up the Khabarovsk, kill the Annapolis if it's possible. We can't retake the cap. That would be very nice. I mean, I don't know how I tackle this issue really of farming the Annapolis with the Trump. How is he not spotted? Wait, is that a smoke Khabarovsk? No. He's just too far away. Their carrier could still win them the game. Nah, it's sus, but like it could happen. It could happen. I will just trade with the Trump when he reaches B cap. I think the Trump is gonna go for B cap or something, and I will just trade him out when he does. Other than that, toward this. Maybe sit here and wait if the Annapolis comes in. He doesn't have too much HP anymore. He's still a threat with the burst fire though. Okay, Venezia is dead. So I guess the Annapolis will run into A. It's the smartest option for him, really, I think. I mean, if he comes into B, it's whatever. I'll just die, I guess. But yeah, let's go back to B and kill the Trump. He's probably currently trying to come in from here or here. We can just run at him. Against gunboats like a Trump or Ragna, if you get, like, if you want to kill them or if you're caught too close to them, just go even closer. Like, the closer you are to these ships, the more likely it becomes that your AP, for example, just shreds through them way faster than they shred through you. They're better at range trading, you're better at close-up AP murdering. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Wait a minute. Okay, the radar's already out, so he's still 10k. No, wait, what? Huh? What? Ah, okay, wait, that was weird. Maybe the Trump opens up on me. Oh, sheesh. Trump torpedoes. Ah, there you go. Trump is there. I'm not gonna load AP here. I'm just gonna HE him down. He's wasting time dropping me instead of like just shooting me. I'm wasting time looking at the drop instead of shooting him, so... Bro, I'm fucking dog shit at aiming at the moment. Holy fuck. Hello. I mean, I have time because he's like not... You go. I mean, those are tech squadrons. He's not gonna... You're not gonna fucking kill me with techs, dude. No. They're too slow. Okay. Our Khabarovsk, though, decided to kill himself on purpose, which is sad. And I think the carrier sits up top there, so I'm not gonna reach him in 3 minutes 30, I think. Maybe I am. Could actually try. Fucking Annapolis is gonna be in my pathway, though. That guy dies to Hanover in secondaries. Patry doesn't really do well against that. I still have a Clausewitz behind me. Maybe I try to go for the carrier. Maybe I can reach him. There is a scenario where I do. But hey, we won against the C division. They camped a bit too much. That's also, by the way, why I really like playing such a destroyer like Vampire, like Vampire, Smaland or something into these kind of divisions, because they never touch caps. They're like mostly also not really close to the caps, because they like to farm their average damage in base and shit. As you could see, the Annapolis wasn't willing to stay on the rock and play utility bitch and platform for his team, which could have won them the game. Nope, he wanted to turn out into Kaiden base and farm people. The Venezia is useless anyway unless DDs or radars cuck me, because the Venezia itself can't really spot me ever. Or obviously the carrier goes for me. And then there is the added benefit of the Patry also being in base, but I don't really mind the Patry at all. It was literally just about the Annapolis, and he didn't really play it well. But yeah, they're not that like good at really winning games. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they don't understand the concept of playing for objectives. They understand the concept of playing for purple points. The thing is, though, that so many people on the server, like so many World of Warships players, are bad and don't understand that sometimes you just don't have to push. That they keep pushing into the... They keep pushing into these divisions, so they allow them to farm damage, and at the same time be winning, or like allow them to win the game, because obviously they're killing everyone since they're running at them. But unless you're not doing that, they have a hard time winning, to be honest. Like, if you just like cap and force them to push back, that's like the nice thing about the DDs. You like kind of force them out of their comfort zone that is their base. I have no clue how that guy ends up with 2.3 base. I think he farmed a whole bunch of fucking teammates here. Jesus Christ. Yeah, in the end it didn't matter though that my team ran it into them, because I just played for the caps kind of, and yeah, that's it for Vampire, really. I mean, you could see it. It's not as simple and easy to play as a daring, but it can really, really impact games. It's kind of a hard carry DD. As I said, like the only thing that fucks you out is even more broken destroyers, like a Smaland. It's obviously kind of your hard counter. Like if you see a vampire in a Smaland, you're like, well, guess his gimmicks are shit, and mine are actually the ones that are gonna grief him. Like speed boosting Kite Smaland with Radar active, you're not doing much against that with a vampire, and you're not gonna kill him. And since you're not gonna kill him, he's gonna heal up and just come back with the next Radar. You could see it in the first game how sad it is really to fight that. But yeah, should you get it for sure? Like it's one of the 3 research bureau ships that you should really get. You should get Ohio if you like BBs. You should get Colbert if you like cruisers, and you should get Vampire if you like DDs, because those are like the different flavor kind of ships and also the really viable ships. Yeah, like Ohio, Colbert I have already, and Vampire. The rest is like you don't need it. Also the tier 9s are a bit overpriced in my opinion. Apart from like maybe Paulo Emilio. But yeah, like shit like Gibraltar, Slava, Sevastopol, you don't need that. Druid, you don't need that. Like really, just you're not missing out on anything. Slava is pretty strong, or it's like the strongest of all of these missing ships, because it's like in randoms, people show you broadside, you can camp in base. But yeah, that's the only thing you do in Slava, like you camp in base. There's no engaging gameplay really to be had. Vampire, Colbert, and Ohio are really different. They're like actual, like really fucking cracked ships at what they do, and those are like the ones you should get. But yeah, that's it for Vampire, and see you for the next video.